take a closer look at the development of some specific emotions. In this case, let's start by looking at the development of a positive emotion, happiness. Now, when you have infants that are newborns, a lot of times you'll see that they'll have these little rudimentary smiles. You'll see them with infants that you actually are encountering, such as a niece or a nephew, and eventually your own child. You'll also, of course, see this in commercials. They like to catch those things. And when you see that, you think, oh, look, they love me. Well, not that I want to make you feel bad in any way, but what they really are loving is things like a full tummy, being rocked, being stroked, those sorts of things. They're really expressing this contentment and this happiness based on these positive stimuli. It's not really social in any way yet. By the time an infant reaches between 6 to 10 weeks of age, now what you're really seeing are things that are more social. That's when the social smile really emerges. It can be as early as 6 weeks. More commonly, it's between 8 and 10 weeks. So if your infant is not smiling with this social smile at 6 weeks of age, you're fine. Now, what exactly does it mean that an infant has a social smile? Well, basically that means that they will smile at interactions with people, interactions with caregivers. That smile will be directed at an actual person. Prior to this, well, they were really smiling as a result of this positive stimuli. By the time they are engaging in this social smile, you really can see a direct connection to the smile that they have and social stimuli. In addition to this, this is also when they're learning how to control their environment. And they really will start smiling when they are learning that they have control over certain aspects of their environment. Let me tell you about a very, very quick study. In 1990, there was a study by Lewis et al. With 2-month-old infants. And what they did was they looked to see whether children would have a reaction in terms of their ability to control music. So they laid these 2-month-old infants down in a crib, and they hooked their feet or their legs up to a switch that would turn a mobile on and off. Of course, the mobile included music and those sorts of things. And what they found, not only did infants this young learn how to control that music and control those mobiles, they actually found that there was this connection with a social smile. It was really very closely related. So even at a very young age, infants are learning how to control their environment, and it has a direct connection with their emotion. Now, by the time children reach 3 to 6 months of age, they're engaging in something that's called positive affect sharing. What is that? Well, it's basically that infants will smile more at smiling adults. In other words, you are sharing this positive emotion. So, if I'm just looking at an infant and I'm not smiling, compared to looking at an infant and I am smiling, infants who are engaging in positive affect sharing will smile significantly more often when I am smiling. So they're really getting a better understanding of these social cues. By 6 to 7 months of age, now we have infants who are engaging in what are called social gestures. So this is basically reacting to additional social stimuli that's a little bit more complex. So for example, infants will smile more at people that they are familiar with than with strangers. So it shows that there is this recognition in addition to this sharing of emotions.